If you live in the Burlington or Hamilton area, or even if you've looked for homes in this area, you've probably noticed that property taxes are significantly higher in Hamilton compared to surrounding areas. And as someone that works in this area in real estate, this topic comes up all the time, and we're often asked, why are property taxes so much higher in Hamilton? Well, in this video, we are going to answer that question exactly, and we're also going to look at how property taxes are determined for municipalities and how you can calculate them on your home. If you get any value out of this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel to stay up to date on all things real estate. So property taxes vary right across the province, and they're different in each city, and how they're calculated is based on a couple things, but the main things are the municipality's size, both the geographic location as well as the population, the council's operating budget for that municipality, and finally the home values in those cities. So for example, cities like Toronto can actually offer lower property taxes because they have larger populations or greater number of taxpayers, and they have higher housing prices in the city. Whereas smaller, more rural cities have higher tax rates because they have lower populations or fewer number of taxpayers, and the home prices are actually lower as well. Now that's a bit about how property taxes are actually determined for the city or municipality that you live in, but how are they actually calculated for your home? So how much you pay in property taxes is determined by the property tax rate that you have in your municipality, as well as the most current value assessment of your home that's conducted by MPAC, or the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation. Now, these home assessments for tax purposes are done every 4 years by MPAC. During COVID, they actually put a freeze and didn't do them in 2020. So the most recent ones you'll have on your home are from 2016, and the next assessment will be done in 2024. These assessments are also phased in for tax purposes. So if the estimated value of your home jumps significantly over a 4-year period, you're not paying higher taxes right away on that. It's phased in over 4 years. And the MPAC assessments for property taxes are typically significantly lower than what the actual property value is, which is good for consumers because it means you're paying a lower tax rate compared to the actual value of your home. So we're actually going to jump in now, look at some real life examples and compare Hamilton to Burlington so you can see why the taxes are so much higher in Hamilton. Right off the bat, you can see Hamilton is a much larger city geographically. It's actually 6 times larger when you look at the square kilometer of the city, and the population is actually only 2.8 times larger. So in Burlington, we have about 1,100 people per square kilometer. In Hamilton, that number is 518. So you can see Hamilton has about half, or a little bit less than half, of the taxpayers per square kilometer, which should tell you right off the bat that it's going to have higher property taxes than Burlington. And then finally, just the average home price, because this is going to be a key that you'll see at the end here on how this kind of levels out across different municipalities. In Burlington, the average home price is right around 1.2. In Hamilton, that number is right around 800,000. So here are the actual tax rates for Hamilton and Burlington. In Burlington, it's a long number here, but the tax rate is 0.779583%. And in Hamilton, you can see it is 1.245249. So the property taxes in Hamilton are actually 60% higher when compared to Burlington. So when we look at these property tax rates on a $1 million home, you're going to see that obviously the property taxes work out to be 60% more in Hamilton because the tax rate is 60% more. But what if we look at the average home price in these cities? Well, like I mentioned, Burlington average home price is around 1.2 and Hamilton's is around 800,000. And like I mentioned at the beginning, this is something that actually determines property taxes in a city. So somewhere in like Burlington that has higher home values, property taxes will actually be a little bit lower. But it's interesting how it works out here. You can see in Burlington, on an average detached home, the property taxes would be $9,355. And in Hamilton, on the average home price, which is $800,000, the property taxes are very similar, $9,962. So when you look at the property taxes for average home prices, Hamilton is actually only 6% higher than when compared to Burlington. Now, I find this really interesting because when you look at the tax rates alone, you can see they're much higher in Hamilton. And when you do a example on $1 million home like we did, obviously they're going to be much higher. But when you take into consideration the actual true values of homes in this area, it actually levels out a little bit more. And this is pretty consistent right across the province, although it is not a perfect science by any means. So that's it for this video. We hope you got some value out of this. And if you have any more questions, or if you want to talk about buying or selling in the Burlington Hamilton area, you can find all of our contact info down below. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.